Hello everybody, my name is Ace, and welcome back to the new order in Hearts of Iron 4. Let's continue on from the last off. So, the council is almost done. We have probably about a few more months of that. The militias. Okay, this is important because we need to actually make sure we must make sure tyranny stops at the end of the barrel. Recurring controversy among the Orenburg City's council is the level of preparation of region security forces. The current patchwork of militias barely maintains the safety of individual communes. Increased banditry across the region and heightened pressures on the eastern and southern communes by German and Kazakh bandits have led the Workers' Council to try to standardize and improve the quality of communal militias. This activity is not going to noticed by the communes, with frequent grumbling about nosy Orenburg City officials observing militia training and attempting to convince militia officers to improve their men's training. Now frustration has reached a boiling point as the formal complaints written in several cities' chiefs has made its way to the Workers' Council. A new set of shouting matches between representatives and the Workers' Council has resulted as the village representatives accuse us of being reactionary pigs trying to strong-arm the militias into serving the city's whims. In the meantime, the goal of improving militias preparedness has not seen any progress. Outside of the frontier, communal militias consist of a handful of village men shouting from their guns once a month. Why bother to prepare anymore, they ask. We have no quarrel with the outside world. We defend our farms as well as we've always done. We must make sure tyranny stops at the end of the barrel, or the wolves draw out. The wolves outside Orenburg draw even closer. Probably this one. I mean, all of the decisions are pretty vague onto which one you're actually choosing. Like, am I supporting more militias or am I supporting the autonomy of the communes? I don't really know. I know it's one of the two, but I can't really tell which. Trade protection. For the good of those in the commune, have they heard of competitive advantage? Another day, another set of angry representatives from the communes. The issue of the day, proliferation of traders from the Urals. Orenburg's relative peace and prosperity has always been a magnet for traders in the outside world. Orenburg City's craftsmen, mostly free from Luftwaffe interference, have been free to crank out a variety of valuable products. The stream of resources from and to the Urals have been particularly lucrative to city residents. The entrepreneurship spirit has not been spread much beyond the city's limit. The peasants of the commune are a wary lot, and they've already distrusted those from outside their village, let alone those from beyond the commune's frontier. This has not stopped more daring trader convoys to seek trade from outside the confines of Orenburg City. Some look to former Soviet industrial sites that might still be operating, while others try to barter with the workers of a few remaining resource extraction facilities, or look for the rare cash crop plantation. The villagers have not been sold on values of free trade. They complain about the increased tariffs on regional roads. They accuse traders of being scouts for brigades. And one village elder accuses those bastards from the Urals of having knocked up his daughter. The petition brought to us demands that traders be limited to the roads and out of Orenburg City. For the good of all those in the commune, thankfully for once, the endless bureaucracy and negotiation to adhere to the Workers' Councils, let us simply bury the matter until the villagers tire of asking for reform. Again, I really don't know which one I'm choosing. But we'll see. I'm surprised by how many pop-ups there are. I kind of figured that there would be a decent amount, but I didn't think it would be this. So greatly. I mean, I don't have choices. I can only choose one. The Workers' Council power ultimately rests in the people, and without the people's consent, the council is nothing. Distressingly often, a representative from a commune requests a secession from the council. For some, the fear of creeping authoritarian from Orenburg is enough to retire their adhesion to the Workers' Council. For others, the council is merely a failed experiment, unable to make any progress of certain security issues and agricultural crises. As the dreams of the common democratic organization agonizes in Orenburg, too many villages turn inward and give up on the outside world. At times, we can scrape up enough compromises and bribes to keep the bigger villages and towns in the Orenburg commune. Most of the time, however, keeping the communes in question is not worth the effort. The task of leaving the workers' councils is as usual made difficult by bureaucracy, debates, and all of that. I really wish this button would work. Because I'm surprised that apparently we're one of the better countries. Considering, you know, everywhere else. The communists request an end to Urberg meddling in education. One of the scant successes of Bukharin's Soviet Union was its effort to eradicate illiteracy across Russia. The state school system managed to reach even the depths of the countryside. As all good things, the education system was annihilated by the accursed German invasion. Some in Orenburg City dreamed of using the Workers' Council to restore some combination of primary, secondary, and even tertiary educations to make use of the decaying Soviet infrastructure. But as usual, communists' unwillingness to cooperate has ground the plan to a halt. Think beyond tomorrow. No, we gotta definitely have some sort of education. We're really lacking in education, and that's putting it mildly that we're lacking in education. Guerrilla fighter, sure, why not? Any improvements we can make to this army would probably be worthwhile. There we go. So we have a field marshal and one general. We're meeting with the Ural League. You are authoritarian democracy, so you're not the worst. Compared to some of the others. An offer from the Ural League has come to us, inquiring as if we would like to meet with them. We have limited communications already and are thankful for the restricted protection they already provide from the likes of the Derwanger brigades. Is that you? I have no idea who that is. Are you Derwanger? Oh no, this guy down here, even though we have a border with him. Although this is all well and good, there's a growing fear among the council, the Orenburg in general. The current relationship is not enough to truly defend us from very bandits and kidnappers that lurk in the Urals. Our council is somewhat divided on the matter. Some fear the League and its powerful regiments will bully us and try to take control of Orenburg, and should we allow them too much influence over our affairs. For this reason, many of the communes are at risk. Bandit raids and the League are usually powerless to stop them. While we maintain some militias for obvious reasons, they do hardly an effective deterrent to outside threats and the bandits that already lurk within our lands, often arriving far after the attacks have ravaged by our people. Some on the council have suggested that there be a current arrangement in defense against raiders. Yeah, we'll meet with the Ural League. If they want to have an alliance with us, I wouldn't be against that. We have 53 days of fuel, and I don't know what happens when we hit 0. The commune's input. So we'll just keep on going down this tree, because, again, there's nothing else we can actually do. So we're meeting with you. They have -9 war support. And 11% stability. So, overall, they want war even less than we do. They want war they want so little war that they have negative war support. More people are against war than exist in the country. So people just hate war twice as much as the average, I guess. I'm not too sure how exactly it will work out. So, how did that meeting go? We'll find out if the first efforts are... Okay, were we successful in maintaining our city? I'm going to kind of go and say no. But again, I don't actually know. How long for this factory? It's going to be built... This one factory takes 6 years to build. Factory output's 5. Construction speed is 4.8. From one factory. Construction speed modifier. So what's our modification? It's plus 30, plus 10, plus 5, plus 128. But then we have negative 100 and negative 210%. So overall, yeah, it takes 6 years to build a single factory. Isn't that just wonderful? Fuel gained from refineries minus 24%. Minus 24. Oh, so this one factory is taking up the fuel. And we have 15 days worth. A failed Congress. I'm not surprised. Another workers' Congress, another set of wasted opportunities. Several of the projects we thought were secure were defeated in the final rounds of negotiations. Disdain for Orenburg City centralization efforts, distrust of distant communes' goodwill, fear and encroachment from the outside world. Many of the causes of Orenburg's problems are also the causes of its failure to implement solutions. Some of the most carefully crafted policy proposals were vetoed without any explanation by representatives of a village with less than 100 souls. On the final day of negotiations, an important proposal for doctors and refugees to help repopulate and restore a set of western communes was shot down by several commune representatives. A fist fight allowed desperate Orenburg City refugees in the room, arguing that they had every right to leave the crowded refugee camp and seek land amongst the depopulated communes. Were shot down by representatives, accusing them of being plans for Orenburg City Council. There's always the next Congress. I'm sure things then will go great. The word up from the fringes. So yeah, you know, everything's going well. The Rogue League stakes neutral towards Burba's bid. Burba is upset. In spite of the contentious political process going in Orenburg, the results of which radically shaped the future of the city, the Ural League declared that it won't interfere in Orenburg's inner politics and won't support the candidature of Burba as chairman of the Workers' Council. For now, Burba has to rely only on its inner base of support to achieve its victory and accomplish the ambitious reforms for the city and communes. Although the fact easy attacks on Burba's opponents for his alleged ties for the expansionist warlords of the Urals, it appears that Burba is left without external allies who could support his bid for leadership. He can only openly voice his dissatisfaction with the League's inaction or remain silent on the event. You know, Burba is upset. He's very mad about the current situation. So we have 10 days worth of fuel. And I'm kind of guessing when we have no fuel, the factory just will not build anymore. So, you know, again, this is one of the richest of the post-Soviet warlord states. I mean, we're kind of not like a warlord state, but you know what I mean. The fractured states. Stockpile is empty. So, like, do we just, like, not even build anymore? No, it still seems like it's going at the same rates. We're 13% of the way done in almost a year. You know, fantastic. Shared buildings. So yeah, you know. How long until you are done? 4 days. We have 153 political powers. How else to actually do anything? Can we actually change any of our plans? 1 free military factory for 200 political power. Absolutely. That seems insanely good. We are far from centralization. Not a huge surprise, given what's happened. Worst of our fears about the military situation. Frontiers revealed itself true. Indicated violence, preparing an invasion of the commune. That's not great. Has no army to speak of. Well, they're planning to attack us. If nothing else, assessing centralization of militias. Let's gauge how many men and women can be marshaled in times of need. So were you part of the NKVD? No, he was part of the SS. Were you part of the NKVD? No, he's like the mad scientist. Or were you part of the... Somebody was part of the NKVD. Let's investigate the militias. Raiders on the frontier. I mean, I'm not surprised. Infrequent reports from scattered militias make up what passes for communal defender force of all the communities. Yeah, okay. Worrying indicators. Things are bad. You know? That's not a huge surprise. So this is gonna take 35 days. The bandit and the scientist. We need a plan. Fundamental province. Reassure the communes. I'm guessing we need all 3 of those to arrange the program. And then another Congress. Make compromises. A new type of secessionist. I'm trying to read what's happening. Yeah. Okay. That's fine. Border conflicts. What does border conflicts actually do? I always forget. If we win, 500 units of World War I rifles. Okay, yeah, you go help that guy out. They're basically trying to raid us. Okay. The council is used to communists announcing their departure from the workers' council. These secessions are inevitably the result of villagers deciding that they'd rather try to make their own instead of remaining shackled to a dying corpse of a workers' democracy. Concerns over the economy, security, and democratic representation usually figure into the reason for their departure. Today, a representative from the northern commune has begun a familiar type of speech, lambasting the council as incapable and corrupt. To this, it was added a common theme of failure in providing security against bandits and outsiders. Our men on the council patiently waited for a representative to announce the commune's withdrawal from the Workers' Party. When the bombshell drops, the commune would leave Orenburg and apply for their Urals League's protection. Ignoring the roaring indication, the representative summed up his speech with the observation that without an effective military, the communes of Orenburg were doomed to annihilation. Why not instead join a sensible government and abandon the democratic anarchy for safety? While many of our faction agree with the representative's arguments, secession has sparked a firestorm of protest. Many of the council argue that we must convince this commune to change their plans, lest the Workers' Council lose even more credibility. And I don't know which one of these... I mean, maybe it's this area that's threatening to leave. I'm not too sure. Apparently we're losing, though. We're having negative 100% modifier. That's really bad. Minus 90%. Why is it negative 90%? I'm really not too sure. Malakov's shock was massive when the villagers seceded from Urnberg to him. Damn you, Malikov. How dare you. It was the biggest betrayal to him when he saw the secession from those villages. After all those years he worked to build up the communes with his comrades that he sometimes disagreed with all those years. With all those years he made an effort to reform it with the allies that clamored to him. And in all those years he dreamed that he could bring communism back to the motherland under a stronger central ruler. This betrayal made him furious, and with rage he went to the halls of Urnberg and told the rest of his comrades that this was a time to centralize in order to face the larger Nazi threat. I mean, so far they haven't abandoned us. We have been raided. I get that. I understand that situation. Apparently we've lost our field marshal. Like, I don't know, like, defense of negative 90%. Yeah, I'm guessing they're not trained at all. We are, that doesn't affect, okay, that doesn't affect anything. Organization. Okay, but, okay, that's a negative 20% modifier, though, but that's not... Anything else in here? Okay, not poverty rates. Reluctant soldiers, probably. That's another negative 20. Untrained rabble, reluctant soldiers. Professional army. Spartacan discipline. And I guess, yeah, we can't really change any of these things. They just kind of happen, I guess, to us. As time continues on. Garrison slaughtered. Sir, on this ripe Christmas morning, we've received grave news. Our garrison have been slaughtered. Which animals could have done this? These savages have killed innocent people left, right, and center. Something must be done. Bury the dead. Everything is not great right now. This episode, you know, it's going to go a little bit over 20 minutes, but that's okay. Well, so I'm just kind of seeing what happens when we get the militia here. Greatly divided. Yeah, the old joke goes that if you gather 2 Ornburgers, you'll find 3 doctrines. Gather 3 and you'll find 4 traitors to the cause. Gather 4 and the party will split. It turns out this joke was better left to the taverns and the pubs of Orenburg, where now it has been proven explosively true in its council. Left unity has collapsed in the city and the 2 cliques formed by... Are we in the middle? Are we going to have a civil war right now? That doesn't seem very good. Calling each other divisionist and destroyer party unity and Marxist Oropaxy. It is sad irony that the party faction they religiously rallied around had wished for nothing more than reform, but as these 2 grew increasingly disillusioned with each other, the definitions of that reform diverged to the point that it become God, I can't speak. Burba's market socialism and free flow industrial development plans became intolerable to the authoritarian Marxist hardliner Malikov and vice versa. Now these 2 were in open competition for the place of chairman, and the communes watched as a mix of horror and fascination and the quiet the cliques talk with 2 great eminence. Okay. No civil war yet, but you know, these 2 people are very upset with each other. That's not a big surprise. Recently, Malikov has been traveling around the edges of Orenburg's sphere of influence, talking with local leaders and speaking to the commune councils. This little commune tour is very clear to purpose uniting the fringe communities under Malikov so that he can gain even more power. He has done little to mask his ambition, and that hasn't stopped many from seriously considering his offers. Malikov speaks to how the union is designated to foster cooperation between communes. His definition of cooperation is 2 entities helping each other, not one exploiting the other. Thus, if these villages put their support behind Malikov, he will just as quickly put his support behind them. No longer will they be exploited by Orenburg. No, Orenburg will serve them. Resource and administration of the Jewel of the Urals will be theirs, and all because they simply put their support behind the best candidate. Not too shabby, eh? While many have been enticed, few remains to see how effective Malikov's effort will be. Yeah, we'll go a little bit more centralization. Again, far from centralized. I still wanted that political power, so you know that I can have 2 extra factories, investigate militias. Give me the event so I can try to make my army a little bit better. The councilman stood up at the podium. He shook a little, knowing what was about to say. Be highly unpopular among councilors. He read from his script. He wouldn't risk forgetting a memorized script as he was sweating so profusely. Gentlemen and ladies, today I speak to you as a matter of importance to the survival of the communes. As many of you know, threats face us down from every angle. Oscar Dewalger's fascist bandits, Lesesco's Stalinist pseudo-science, and even Earl League's unchecked militancy are all danger to our utopian state. Therefore, I propose a measure many of you will see as drastic, but I see as necessary. I believe that the Workers' Council should begin levying soldiers from the represented communes of Orenburg. The councilors, almost in total unison, began to boo off the young, nervous councilman at the podium. Somebody threw a banana peel. The councilor frowned. This is not a good introduction to politics. He pulled a banana peel off his shoulders and walked out the podium. Yeah, okay. So that's going to be the end of this episode. Thank you for watching. My name is Anthem. If you enjoyed, my thumbs up. If not enjoying, you can always thumbs down. Want to subscribe, and goodbye.